Hi everyone, this is Raizen Logroño.
And this is Rafaela Gabriel J. Zaragoza.
Do you want to hear a story?
What kind of story is that, Raizen?
Let's explore the story of one of the contributory tales, which is entitled
The Canon Yeoman's Tale.
Let's go! Are you ready to listen? The Canon Yeoman's Tale? Okay, let's begin. With the story of Saint Cecilia finished, the company continues in its journey until two men overtake them. One was clad in all black, but with a white gown underneath, a cannon, and his horse, sweated as if it ridden for 3 miles. The horse that rides underneath the cannon's yeoman similarly sweated so much that it could hardly go further. The canon, which is the first man, greets the company warmly and explains that he had hoped to join them. His yeoman, too, is extremely courteous. The host asks if the canon can tell a tale, and his yeoman responds that he knows more than enough about mirth and jollity, and adds that if the host knew the canon as well as he does, he would wonder how he could do some of the things he can. The canon is, the yeoman says, a passing man. The host guesses that his master is a clerk, but the yeoman says that he's something greater, telling him that he could pave all the ground from here to Canterbury in silver and gold. The host is quite amazed, but then asks why. If the canon is so important, he cares so little for his honor and dresses so shabbily. The yeoman says, initially horrified that question, but then adds in secret that canon believes that overdone dress sense is a vice. The host asks where the canon lives, and the yeoman tells him that it is in hiding places and the back lanes of the suburbs of a town. The host then turns to the yeoman himself, asking why his face is so discolored. The yeoman explains it is because he spends his time blowing in the fire, and then reveals that the canon and he spend most of their time doing illusion or borrowing money, promising profit, and then slipping away. While the yeoman was talking, the canon drew near and heard everything and chastised him, telling him to hold his peace and warning him that he was revealing things that should not be revealed. The host bids the yeoman to tell on. And when the canon realized that the yeoman would not be silenced, he fled. Since his lord is gone, the yeoman concludes that he will tell the company everything that he knows. With this, the canon, the narrator begins. I have lived for 7 years, and yet I am no closer to understanding his signs. The Sliden's science, as he calls it, has made him only poor, and so he argues it will do to anyone who applies himself to it. The narrator then expounds in detail the processes of alchemy, with the reams of scientific terminology, rehearsing an inventory of vessels made of pottery and glass apparatus like cucurbites and alembics, and minerals like arsenic and brimstone. The narrator then recites the 4 spirits, which are easily evaporated by heat, and the 7 bodies, which are the metals, which in medieval alchemy were an almost forerunner to the periodic table. No one who practices alchemy, the narrator concludes, will profit. He will lose everything he puts into it. No matter how long he sits and learns the terms, he will never gain from it. The narrator then turns on God, saying that though God had given them hope and they had worked hard to discover the philosophy stones, they had no luck. This is the tale proper of the Canon's Yeoman, and it tells of a canon whose infinite falsehood and slyness cannot be written. He makes anyone he communicates with behave foolishly, and yet people ride for miles to make his acquaintance, not knowing or suspecting that he is a charlatan. The narrator then makes a slight aside to apologize to canons in general, claiming that his tale is of one bad canon, but is not representative of all canons, just as Judas was the one traitor among the apostles. In London, there lived a priest who sang masses for the dead, and one day he was visited by the false canon, who begged him to lend him a certain amount of gold. The priest obliged him, and 3 days later, the canon returned to pay him back. Expressing gratitude that the canon has paid him back on time, the priest prompted a speech from the canon about the importance of truth and keeping one's word. The canon then promises to show the priest some of his mastery before he goes. The canon is actually a complex and ambiguous character. He is initially presented as a learned and powerful figure, but the Yeoman's revelations expose him as a charlatan consumed by his obsession with the alchemy. His pursuit of wealth and power blinds him to the consequences of his actions, leading him to financial ruin and ultimately a desperate escape from his own deception. Next is the Yeoman. Actually, the Yeoman, in contrast, is a more straightforward character.
And now I will introduce you to the several symbols that are being used in the tale. So here are the key symbols in the tale. The first one is the
Alchemy. Alchemy.
itself is a central symbol in the tale representing the pursuit of wealth and the transformation of base metals into gold. So it symbolizes the allure of materialism and the desire for quick wealth. However, it is also represents the futility and deception inherent in such pursuits, highlighting the moral corruption that can arise from greed. And the second one is the gold. Gold serves as a potent symbol for wealth, success, and aspiration. It represents the ultimate goal of the
Alchemist.
but also embodies the corrupting power of greed. This failure to achieve this goal emphasizes the theme of disillusionment and the dangers of valuing material wealth over ethical conduct. And the third one is the canon. The canon himself is a symbol for the corrupting influence of greed and the moral decay that can accompany the pursuit of wealth, and his character embodies the emptiness of false promises and the destructive nature of deceitful ambitions. And he is a cautionary figure illustrating the consequences of a life driven by dishonesty. Next is the
Alchemist tricks.
so the various tricks and slits of hand used by the
Alchemist.
symbolized deception and the illusion of knowledge. So these tricks highlight the theme of illusion versus reality and illustrating how appearances can be manipulated to deceive others. They serve as a metaphor for the false promises often associated with material pursuits. The fifth one is the yeoman's labor. The yeoman's hard work and the dissatisfaction symbolize the burdens of servitude and the moral conflict between honesty and complicity in wrongdoing. And his character represents those who are caught in corrupt system yet desire integrity. And it highlights the struggle between ethical behavior and the pressure of societal expectation. And the last one is the priest. The priest who falls victim to
Alchemist.
symbolizes the gullibility of those seeking easy solutions to their problems. And his character illustrates the dangers of misplaced trust and the folly of pursuing wealth without discernment, reinforcing the theme of deception. The Canon and the Yeoman's Tale highlight these several important themes that reflect on Geoffrey Chaucer's critique of society, so particularly in relation to greed, deception, and the nature of true knowledge. So the themes that are being highlighted in the tale, such as deception and fraud, greed and materialism, illusion versus reality, disillusionment, and moral corruption, but I will discuss it one by one. So, first is the deception and fraud. So the tale highlights the prevalence of deceit in the pursuit of wealth, particularly through the practice of
Alchemy.
both the canon and the fraudulent
Alchemist.
represent characters who exploit others for personal gain, and this theme underscores the idea that many individuals are willing to manipulate and deceive others to achieve their own financial desires, often at the expense of moral integrity. The second one is the greed and materialism. The desire of wealth or the desire for wealth drives the action of the canon
The Alchemist.
and their victims. Their futile attempts to turn base metals into gold illustrates the folly of such pursuits, and by that Chaucer's critiques the societal obsession with wealth and the lengths to which individuals will go to acquire it, often leading to their own downfall. And the third one is the illusion versus reality. The tale explores the difference between the appearance and the underlying truth,
The Alchemist.
presents an illusion of wealth and success, while the reality is one of the failure and deception. So this theme suggests that what seems valuable or promising may actually be a facade, warning against the dangers of being misled by appearances. And the next one is the disillusionment. The yeoman expresses a sense of disillusionment with the practice of
Alchemy.
and his master's dishonest ways. His narrative reveals his regret about the world, and this theme reflects a broader commentary on the consequences of pursuing false knowledge and the disillusionment that arises when one realizes the futility of their pursuits. And the fifth is the moral corruption. So the canon's character amplifies the moral corruption that accompanies greed and the quest for wealth, and his actions reflect a disregard for ethical behavior in the favor of financial gain. Chaucer critiques the moral decay present in society, particularly among those prioritize profit over integrity and honesty. Overall, these themes intertwine to create powerful critique of the societal or the social and moral issues of Chaucer's time, emphasizing the importance of integrity and the dangers of greed and deception. The Canon Yeoman's Tale serves as a compelling reflection on the complexities of human ambition, the pitfalls of greed, and the moral implications of deceit. Through its narrative, Geoffrey Chaucer critiques societal values that prioritize wealth and success over honesty and integrity. And one of the most striking aspects of the tale is that portrayal of the canon, who embodies the corrupting influence of greed. His obsessive pursuit of alchemy and wealth serves as a cautionary tale, warning against danger of allowing ambition to overshadow ethical considerations. The yeoman's disillusionment with his master highlights the internal conflict experienced by those who find themselves entangled in such corrupt pursuits. And this dynamic speaks to the broader human experience wherein individuals often grappled with the tension between loyalty and moral integrity. The theme of deception runs deeply throughout the narrative. The
Alchemist tricks.
symbolize the illusions that many fall prey in their quest for financial gain, and this element serves as a reminder of the importance of discernment and critical thinking, particularly in the world rife with false promises. And Chaucer's effectively illustrates that the allure of easy wealth can lead to dire consequences, not only for the deceived but also for the deceivers, who ultimately lived in a state of moral ambiguity. Furthermore, the tale invites reflection on the nature of knowledge and expertise, and
The alchemist.
claims of possessing secret knowledge are undercut by the reality of his fraudulent practices. This critique resonates in contemporary contexts where claims of expertise are often used to manipulate and exploit. In conclusion, the Canon's Yeoman's Tale remains relevant today as it addresses timeless themes of greed, deception, and the moral dilemmas face individuals in pursuit of wealth. Chaucer's canned observations about human nature encourages readers to reflect their own values and the societal pressures that shape their decisions, and the tale serves as both a critique of its time and a timeless reminder of the importance of integrity and the potential pitfalls of prioritizing material gain over ethical conduct.
We hope that you learned something from our video analysis.
And we hope you enjoyed watching from it. Again, this is Raisin Logroño.
And this is Rafala Gabriel J. Tergosa.
Till next time,
Bye!